And unfortunately, this is a repeat headline for the third time. Tua Tagovailoa placed in concussion protocol. We think that, look, we don't know for certain, but it seemed like he did get injured on a particular play against the Packers, after which he really struggled. But here is Mike McDaniel on the Tua situation.
As far as the game was concerned, there was no one recognized anything with regard to any sort of hit. I can't really tell you exactly when it was. I'm not totally positive on that, but it was something that he met with the doctors today and discussed some symptoms, and they from that as you guys know, from there on, that's between Tua and the doctors, and we'll move forward as information is projected towards us.
All right, so it's very obviously a messy situation. The expectation, I think, at this point is that Tua is probably not going to play. BetMGM moved the line from Dolphins -1.5 to Patriots -2.5. And look, he may not have a concussion, but I think at this point, with everything that's happened, that it's unlikely that he will play. Obviously, we hope that Tua gets better, but I think from a fantasy perspective, it doesn't change too much, given that Teddy Bridgewater is one of the best backups in the league. Obviously, you're going to start Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. The backfield is unclear regardless. But what do you make of this situation with Tua?
I think you've nailed it correctly, Jay. I mean, I think, listen, the headline here is like, we want Tua to be safe. It's a scary situation. Like, I mean, given any player, hitting his head against the turf, and so that play has been out there quite a bit in terms of where people think it may have happened, and his head goes against the turf as well. But in any player, you're like, how does this go undetected? Especially and here's the play right here, for those of you watching on Peacock as well, like you just see his head go down just before he flips the ball away. So really a tough hit. You see his head go down, really tough. To see, and you see the close up right there. So it's scary to think about that any player going through that would not be checked out. McDaniel's talked about the fact like he just wasn't checked out. He admitted on Monday that he was feeling concussion-like symptoms, but especially Tua Tagovailoa, who's had such a high-profile concussion, and there's been so much discussion, and they changed the rules, right? I mean, they become much more stringent. Not that they should have been beforehand, but they literally there was so much emphasis after that first one, that primetime game, where his hands got all curled up. And anyway, so yeah, the number one headline here is that we hope, we pray for player safety, and we want Tua Tagovailoa to get better, and like your long-term health, forget your football career, your long-term health, your long-term quality of life is the most important thing. So I think I join everyone, including Jay. I know you already expressed this as well. I know everyone in the football world feels this way, including his Miami Dolphins family. So my expectation is the same, is that they will go to Teddy Bridgewater for the rest of the regular season and likely the rest of the year if they end up making the playoffs. And I think your analysis is spot on, that the downgrade from Tua to Teddy Bridgewater, by the way, Tua from an NFL perspective hadn't been great recently. He was bad football-wise against the Packers. Now, maybe there's a reason why, right? Because, if he's playing with a concussion, suddenly there's maybe some explanation for it as well. But, I think Waddle and Hill, you're absolutely starting. We'll see if we get some more clarity. It feels like both guys are kind of flex plays. Mostert was running well, and then he had the fumble. And then they went to Jeff Wilson, and Jeff Wilson cashed in the touchdown. They're playing the Patriots. I believe that game's in New England, right?
Yep.
So the game, you're talking about a December game in New England. Yeah. That is, there are a lot of fantasy teams have gone to die at Foxborough when it's cold outside. I guess actually January. It would be an early January game. So I think both Dolphins running backs are basically flex plays. You hope for touchdown flex plays, but Waddle and Hill's value remain unchanged. And, again, the most important thing here is that Tua get better.
Yeah, I think this is a situation that transcends football, transcends everything that we talk about. So personally, I hope that Tua's not on the field on Sunday and that it is Teddy Bridgewater, but we'll have to see how that plays out. Let's go to Baltimore, another situation with quarterback uncertainty. John Harbaugh said around Lamar Jackson's status for Sunday that we'll just have to see, which isn't great for the Sunday Night Football game between the Steelers and the Ravens. The line there is now Ravens -3. The total is 36, so not expecting fireworks here. I mean, it's largely just the show goes on as it has been the past couple of weeks without Lamar Jackson. You're not feeling great about your Ravens, particularly with Mark Andrews not really revisiting the form and the connection he had with Tyler Huntley lately. But what do you make of this situation in Baltimore?
So here's my question, Jay, and a very important question. I want you to answer me honestly here. Do you want me to answer as a pure fantasy analyst, right? Yep. Or do you want me to answer as a good company man and a happy and proud employee of NBC Universal?
Yeah, let's. I want honesty, Matthew, particularly because you're in the sunshine in Florida. I just want hard honesty. We don't have to muddy the waters on a game that a total is 36. So yeah, Florida man pulls no punches.
Well then, as an honest, Lamar Jackson ain't playing in this game.
No.
Lamar Jackson ain't playing in this game. Now, listen, again, like, I'm sure my bosses at NBC would, no, listen, there's a chance. You got to tune in Sunday night and watch, watch Sunday night game on NBC and Peacock because I'm a company man, and just to see, maybe there's a chance Lamar Jackson plays. I'm just going to tell you right now, he ain't playing. And I'll tell you why. It's a contract year. He wants to be 100% healthy, obviously. The Steelers, this is always a nasty defense. It's a nasty team. You know what's good for your career? Not facing T.J. Watt. Here's the other thing. They have clinched a playoff spot. The Ravens have clinched this playoff spot. I don't believe if the Ravens win this game, that matters all that much. It's going to be a grinded out game as well. The Ravens may feel like, we can win with Huntley anyway. They'd certainly prefer to have Lamar Jackson out there, but I don't know. I mean, it just feels like why would the Ravens risk Lamar Jackson? More importantly, why would Lamar Jackson risk Lamar Jackson? Again, I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but just, Lamar Jackson wants, if Russell Wilson's worth $250 million, what's Lamar Jackson worth? And so against the Steelers team, again, they've already clinched the playoffs here. It just doesn't make sense for Lamar Jackson, for both personal and professional reasons, to play in this game. Anything's possible, I suppose, but as you see, John Harbaugh, about whether he's even going to practice this week, we'll just have to see. Remember, John Harbaugh also told us it was going to day-to-day, more like week-to-week. I mean, Lamar Jackson, I don't believe, has played since, I think it feels like it's been 3 years since Lamar Jackson's actually played in the NFL. He ain't playing.
Yeah, it's the same situation as last year in a way, where we kept expecting maybe Lamar will be back this week, and then he just never came back. And I don't think we're going to see Lamar until week 1 of the playoffs, honestly, because they have clinched that spot. They still do have the AFC North that is up for grabs. If they win against Pittsburgh, then they can have that week 18 against the Bengals basically be for the AFC North. But at the same time, the difference between being the 5 seed and playing Jacksonville or Tennessee week 1 versus going all out for the 3 seed and playing the Chargers probably week 1, I don't think that really matters enough to risk Lamar's health. It's also no guarantee that they would beat Cincinnati next week. So yeah, I don't think we're going to see Lamar Jackson. And if we don't, I mean, it's just the same decisions, right, that we've been making the past couple of weeks, where you still have to start Mark Andrews because he's Mark Andrews and a tight end. You don't feel great about the Dobbins-Edwards situation, but they're both probably flex plays at this point.
Yeah, neither have passing game usage. Neither of them have been, both of them have been hyper efficient. None of them are getting massive volume. They're getting 12 carries a game, and you're just hoping they break a long one or they get into the end zone. And so because neither of them have passing game usage, and it's a low total, it's a tough defense. I mean, listen, the Steelers just, they're a different defense with T.J. Watt out there. They just shut down Josh Jacobs, who was as hot a running back as there was in fantasy football. And so, yeah, I I agree with you. I think you have to start Mark Andrews because, you probably don't have a better option. But other than that, you don't feel great about any of the other Ravens skill players here. And the other piece of it is it might not just be the Ravens' decision. Again, I don't want to cast any aspersions on Lamar Jackson. And I don't know. I'm not in that locker room. I don't know the conversations that are going on. But just, it's a conversation, right? The doctors say to Lamar, how do you feel? And if Lamar says, I'm not feeling great, okay, we're not playing you. We don't know how Lamar's actually feeling. But if Lamar says, I ain't feeling great, I don't feel 100%, they're not going to put him out there regardless of the reality. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not casting any position. I have no idea what Lamar Jackson may or may not say. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm just saying, I'll put it this way. If I was Lamar Jackson and I'm on a one-year deal, my team has yet to step up and pay me what I want to be paid, and my team has already clinched a playoff spot, and to your point, the odds of them winning the next two games and winning the AFC North don't look great just in general. Yeah, man, I'll play the playoffs, but I'm not sitting. Anyway, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. I don't know what Lamar Jackson will do, but that's what I would do.
Yep. Very unlikely Lamar Jackson plays Sunday night, but he might be more likely to play than Derrick Henry is to play Thursday night at this point. And here is Mike Vrabel on resting players for Thursday night's game.
Well, I think we'll have to prepare this week and then, see where guys are on Wednesday and even Thursday, before we, ultimately make a decision, and see, who you feel like could have a setback or who, could need some time. I think that there's, some things we'll have to look at.
Yeah, so Mike Vrabel's resting everyone after that. That's what I took out of that little soundbite. I don't think they are going to be playing anyone, particularly Derrick Henry, who is on the injury report with a hip. And look, the key thing here is you have to look at precedent with how teams go about resting players. For instance, Dallas had a basically meaningless game against Philadelphia last year in Week 18, and they played all their guys. Whereas in 2019, the Titans, they had a situation where basically the exact same situation as this one, where Week 16 was meaningless for them. They rested Henry, and then Week 17, he goes for 211 yards and 3 touchdowns as they clinch a wild card berth. So I think that Henry has very little chance to play, and then if he does play, it's going to be the Hassan Haskins show, for better or worse.
Jay, I couldn't agree more with this. It's also, by the way, the Week 19 situation that you talked about, I believe it was also on a Sunday. So in addition to adding and everything, all this, and the fact that the game does not matter, for the Titans, it all comes down to Week 18 against the Jaguars for the AFC South. It's also a short week. They're playing, now you're asking Derrick Henry, who's taken so much punishment over the year and so much usage, to go out there on a short week against Dallas. Derrick Henry ain't playing. He's not going to play in any kind of significant way that you'd want to start him. The positives of this is that I think reports will come out and we'll know prior to Thursday. So at least you'll have time to, adjust prior to the week 17. And it just stinks if, you're going to get on your finals and you're not going to have your first round pick in King Henry. But it would be very surprising to see them play, especially when you consider not only is obviously Henry the centerpiece of their offense, but now with Ryan Tannehill out for the year and Malik Willis under center, he's all they got. Derrick Henry is literally all they got. I mean, all due respect, but Malik Willis just so far this year has not looked ready for prime time. He's going to need more experience and seasoning, and I don't feel good about – we didn't feel great about any of the Titans pass catchers with the possible exception of Chig Okonkwo. But other than my guy Chig, Robert Woods, Nick Westbrook-Akine, so right. Your point is, so Dontrell Hilliard went on IR last week. So he is out for the rest of the regular season. So Hassan Haskins is the guy that would likely get the majority of the work for the Titans on Thursday night. It's worth noting over the last 4 weeks, the Cowboys are actually a bottom 12 rush defense. So, given the amount of volume that Haskins is likely to get in this game and a matchup that doesn't totally scare you, again, they'll probably be down big, but I still think the Titans are going to continue to just run the ball. that is what they do. And so Haskins makes for an interesting pickup this week. Like, he's somebody, again, game script is negative. Like, you don't love it, right? I think when my ranks come out, when my ranks come out this week, tomorrow, he'll be a flex play for me. But I do think if you're looking for a starting running back, I think Haskins gets a lot of work.
Yeah.
I don't know that I want to start Hassan Haskins in a Week 17 final if I can help it, but you may not have a better you may not have a better choice.
Yeah, and even if Henry by chance is active for this game, I wouldn't be starting him anyway because I don't think he's going to get 10 carries. I just don't think he's going to play at all anyway. All right,
and I'll say something crazy here, though, Jay Crouch. You tell me if you agree with this or not.
Hit me.
Just as we're talking about sort of, I'm super desperate for a running back. I actually prefer Hassan Haskins this week to Zach Moss. Am I crazy?
I don't think you're crazy. Just because
I prefer the Titans' offensive line to the Colts. He's not dealing with Deion Jackson. Like, I think Haskins gets more work than Deion Jackson. And I feel better about the Titans' commitment to the run game against Dallas, no matter what the score is, than the Colts' commitment to the run game against the Giants.
Yeah.
Hassan I have more confidence.
League winner. Amazing.
Well, I'm sorry?
Hassan Haskins, league winner. Why not? I do think you're right. I do think there is much more scope for Nick Foles to throw the ball 40 times than for Malik Willis to throw it 40 times.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, honestly, I have more confidence in Mike Vrabel and his staff to get them prepared on a short week and to play tough than I do about Jeff Saturday. And no disrespect to Jeff Saturday, but I mean, the Titans have a better franchise. They have a better team. They have more talent around them than they do in Indianapolis. And the last thing is like, as crazy it sounds, you know who was a league winner last year, who I know a lot of people played in the finals? Jarrett Patterson.
Yeah.
Because Antonio Gibson was out. No, seriously, people played Jarrett Patterson last year in finals, and he played well. Like, again, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, stranger things have happened. Again, he's a flex play for me. He's a desperation flex play, but these are desperate times that we call for.
Yeah.
And yes, I like when my rankings come out tomorrow, Hassan Haskins will be ahead of Zach Moss, crazy as though that may be.
Yeah. All right. And thus concludes Rotoworld headlines, subtitle, He Ain't Playing.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBC Sports and Rotoworld.com. Just want to thank you so much for watching what you just watched, or at least being too lazy to click out of it after the autoplay just kept it going. So either way, thank you so much for just letting it scroll by your screen. And now I'd like to ask you respectfully, please subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel for the latest NFL news, fantasy headlines from Rotoworld, and betting analysis from NBC Sports Edge.